I've been talking with leaders about a metric that we often don't really have on our dashboards, and it's conversion on effort. And I think one thing you're
that's good.
Hitting on, especially when you're saying direct messaging people with a personal video, and the volume is not as high. You maybe can't send out and blast tens of thousands of people at the same time. Maybe you get to 100 in a day because of all of the lift that goes in that. But the conversion on that effort is 10x what it would be if you just sent one email and blasted it to thousands of people that you paid to get a list or something, right? Because it's not going to convert because people are over it. People are tired of the white noise in this space and being spammed and being hit up one more time. And it sounds like you're saying bringing back the old-fashioned, let's have a relationship and get to know each other person to person is the secret sauce.
It is, but I'm not saying you do it for everybody. But what I am saying is as it gets easier to build technology and as the world gets easier to build businesses, the differentiation is not going to be your code. The differentiation is not going to be the thing you sell. The differentiation is going to be that magic sauce that you have in your brand. When people think about you, they think about you differently. For us, it drives us out of the competitive range to where we literally don't have any direct competitors. None. So in 3 years, we have no direct competitors because everybody just wants to build the app and scale. Everything's about scale. Well, we're scaling just as fast or faster. We just have more effort and energy around what we call return on culture. And that's what this is. It's return on culture of what we do inside of our company. We want people to feel outside. And that's how we operate. And I just think that scale is overrated. I want people to scale. But if you scale without that magic and that touch and that meaning, it's important. And this comes directly from my story of I was the guy who didn't used to do this.
So it sounds like you had a personal transformation, that there was kind of this epiphany around this.
Dude, I mean, I was a disaster. I was all you talking about grow. And we literally in the last company I was in 2014, I was approached by a private equity group. And they said, Casey, we want to buy your business. And they made an offer for the business. And it was a really nice offer. We went and sat down during due diligence. And I don't know if you've ever been through due diligence, but it's kind of like they get you naked and tell you all the bad things about you, and they're going to beat you up a little bit. And so I remember sitting in the boardroom, and literally within minutes, I lost millions of dollars because they looked at the facts of after people bought, and they were saying stuff like, in month 7, we noticed that there's a drop off for this. What was happening there? In month 10, here's a drop off, and everything wasn't about this. And I was like, no, look at the sales. They were like, no, we can't do that. We're looking at what we're going to get when we buy the business. And so in an hour meeting, I lost millions and millions of dollars. And they said, Casey, your business is not sticky. And so we went back to the drawing boards for 2 years, because what leaders try to do is they'll hear this and they try to treat it like a project, not a process. And so they'll go, oh, let's get fired up about customers for a minute, or let's go fix our failed payments or whatever. And so we went back to the drawing board. We spent 8 quarters. We put a leader over it. We put metrics over it. We put systems over it. We used technology. And that solution that we built, we went back to the same private equity group. They 5X'd their initial offer 2 years later because we fixed this problem. And you say you have a personal conversion? That was a personal conversion of the reality of the value of your business. It's not about how well you can sell. It's how well you can sell, and then keep selling to people forever.
So is it as simple as we have to increase the lifetime value? Like, is that the whole metric we should be looking at? How do we get more value to the customer and then value out of them over the, it's like we're extending from month 7 out to year 7. Like, is that the objective?
Yeah, that's it. I mean, the king and queen metric of business from a financial standpoint is CAC to LTV. So how much does it cost to acquire, and how long can we keep them? And so my question is for just everybody listening, how much strategy meeting, how much effort, how much time, how much thought process, how much budget goes to LTV versus CAC? How much? And so I just know, I've been inside of it, is that we just go, oh, they're going to take care of that, or I hired them to do that. No. If you're the leader of the business, it's got to come from you to give a crap, to care, because this is where the value is. Now, it doesn't mean you have to do it, but you sure got to lead it and care about it, and you've got to prioritize it.
A lot of people know these acronyms, but just for those who are going, what's a CAC? Is that something you buy at the pet store? Let's break customer acquisition cost, right?
That's right.
And then the ratio of lifetime value.
That's right.
And so
if it costs you $100, let's say in a Facebook advertising, it costs $100 to buy, a customer, and then they pay you $1,000 over a year, you'll have a 10-to-1 CAC to LTV.
Yeah, it's key to track that stuff, because I think it's a myth that you just throw a bunch of money into Facebook and you get a bunch of customers that we talk about the ROI almost like, hey, look, we won. We put the money in and we got new customers, but if we're not really watching how much that customer is worth to our business over time, we get delusional with just the, how much we spend on the campaigns and the initial conversion.
Totally. Yeah.
So you've got a 4-step process to creating, I guess, what you call sticky customers. What do you mean by sticky?
Well, sticky means that they stay and pay and they want to. That over a long period of time. And so what we found in the business, so I'm not saying this is like Casey figured this out or we figured this out. All we did is that we've processed over now is about 6 million transactions and customer interactions of hearing customers back and forth on emails and text message in the last 40 months. And so what we've seen from the businesses that do it the best and what we've seen from the businesses do it the worst, and there's 4 things that we've seen that businesses that keep customers for a long time do very well. And the first thing is they make it super easy for their customer. And so the phrase of what we say is that you got to make it obvious for the oblivious. Obvious for the oblivious. Now, here's a practical example of that. My mom was late to getting a cell phone. And so I told her, because she kept saying, I'm calling you, and I wasn't answering enough. I'm sure we've all had these kind of things. And so I was like, Mom, if you just get a cell phone, then you can text, and I'll text you back. So she comes in town 2 months later and she's mad. I mean, she's hacked off at me. We're sitting eating some wings and your mom's mad at me. And she says, Casey, you told me if I got a cell phone that if I texted you, you'd text me back. I was like, Mom, I haven't gotten a text. And so I pick up her phone, I look at it, and my mom somehow was texting herself. Not me.
You got to give her an A for effort. I mean, mom's trying to stay with the technology, right?
I do. And so what I learned from that was, you've got to make it obvious for the oblivious. She just hadn't done this before. Mm-hmm. And so this is how every customer is when they interact with your brand for the first time. So what I suggest for every single person in this Zoom world to do, literally go get somebody who is not your target audience. They know nothing about what you do or care about it, and get on a Zoom call and literally let them have their screen and pay them for 30 minutes and pay them and watch them go through your website, what they click on, what does that phrase mean to you? And literally, it's a look over the shoulder. They used to do it in like the 90s. You just look over the shoulder and you would watch, but now you can look over the shoulder on Zoom and watch people, pay people, five or 10 people.
Yes.
And you'll see how oblivious people are to your insider language, to what you think is being said and what to do. One of the biggest things is they don't know where to go after they buy. They don't know who to contact. They don't know what to do next. And so oftentimes we spend all of our effort on getting them to buy. But then after that, how clear is it? Where do you go? What's the next thing you buy? All of those different things. And so that's what we mean by make it obvious for the oblivious.
Well, you're hitting on something that's really important. My friend Donna Miller talks about the curse of knowledge. When we live so close to our stuff, it's actually a curse that we know so much about our landing pages, because we just look at it and things that are obvious to us. Well, you just go here and you click this and we know that they're going to get this, and that, the workflows of our website even can be really confusing if you've never been there before. And what you're talking about is getting people who don't have that native experience, that knowledge that they've been working on it as a project. It's fresh eyes. And you go, oh my gosh, why? It's right in front of them. Why are they not clicking it? And then you realize the messaging is off. And I think it's a great exercise. In fact, there's services. We use one that lets you do this in mass, usertesting.com. And they find people and you can pay them. And these these people sign up and say, yeah, I'll be someone that'll test drive your website for you and give you the kind of the brutal, honest feedback. And actually, usertesting.com just called us the other day and said, we're running too many tests through their site per our agreement. We're going to have to, but that's how much we believe in it, because we get so many insights. Yeah. We're like, oh my gosh, if we'll just test some of this stuff, and how many customers are we losing if we never test it? And we never realize that thousands of people are putting all this money and energy to drive traffic to our site, and then they're just bouncing right off because it's confusing. And we didn't fix the thing that once they got to the site could have been a natural conversion point if we just worked on that and did exactly what you're talking about.
That's it. Another one's called Full Story out of Atlanta. It's a Atlanta-based company. It kind of does the same thing, shows you the full story of what they're doing. But those are the digital versions. I'm even talking more analog of like literally when people click on stuff like in your product, or the other thing is let them buy all the way through the process. And so even if you are shipping a physical box to their house, have them on Zoom and watch them open the box and ask them every step along the way, like, what do you think this is? Why do we do that? Just asking questions and get the analog data back. And some of your best marketing materials and some of our best marketing materials that we've ever done.